right, I'll hit record. All right, perfect. So if you want to start, you can get started.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. I'll start off by giving you a little insight. So, my name's Tom Fox, and I've been an originator now for 26 years. So, during that time, we've seen refi booms up and down. We've seen purchase markets go crazy. We've seen crashes in 2008. We've seen finance issues through 2011 and 14. But what we're finding now post COVID is that there are more buyers and less homes available in any given target area, right? Nationwide, and each area it changes a little bit, but the big thing is that there are more offers on homes, there are more people trying to buy a home, and there's less homes that are on the market. Some people don't want to move. They're afraid of what has to happen when you go through all of that, right? So we want to help you as a realtor have another, you said a tool in your toolbox, and I love that. But I'm going to throw a different one at you that I've kind of adopted as mine. I want you to have another arrow in your quiver, right? So everyone has a lender connection of some kind, whether it's in their office or if it's someone that they know that has a special product or whatever it is. So you try to make your client connect with the person that you feel has the right attitude, the right mojo, the right groove, so that you can feel connected and you can also help them to understand, right? So I think the very first thing that we need to do as realtors or mortgage people is listen actively. And I'm going to give you an acronym for something that I use quite often. If you look into solutions that evaluate need, those are the letters of the word listen. And I'll say it again. Look into solutions that evaluate need. And if we understand what our clients' needs are, then we can help them find the right property. If we know that they need a little bit more space in the kitchen, or they have kids and now they're fighting and they need an extra bedroom, if they need something special. So, you as the realtor, you have to focus on that. So, what we want to do is we want to give you another tool, another arrow to be able to help you to make offers that are a little bit different. And we created here at AnnieMac, we created a program called Cash to Keys. And essentially, what that's done is it's allowed your clients that are looking to buy to submit an offer as all cash, whether they have a home to sell, whether they are a first time buyer, or if they have no home and they just want to purchase a property. So that doesn't matter. We can still make them cash offer approved. So during the time that I've been in mortgages, I've raised a family, I've put kids through college. And one of the things that I saw is that right after COVID, it slowed down a little bit. And I don't know if you guys have seen the same thing, but there seems like there's more cash offers because families are helping people out and they're more competitive. So I want you to be able to offer cash for your clients as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint presentation so that I can go through some of this with you. And then what we'll do at the end of this today is we'll get all of you certified so that you can say, hey, I'm a certified cash to keys agent. Now, it gives you a little bit of information. We can certainly do one-on-ones. We can make you up some flyers that you can market this and use social media and your website and things. I made some things up for Nakia, and I think it's something that gives you a little bit of an edge. And what I would challenge you to look for is the opportunity to gain more listings because you can help them go under contract for the home they want to buy first and then sell their home second. Now, it might happen the same day, but it also gives them the opportunity to go out and look. And if you help them find the right property, then they can list their home with confidence. So I see we have a couple people that are joining on Nakia. Is there a number of people that you think we're going to have, or you think we're pretty close?
Yeah, you can go right ahead. We're
All
all
right. So I think should be able to share my screen here.
okay.
Um, and I'm not showing. where it's going to allow me to do that. Here it is down the bottom center, and I'm going to share this.
There you
Let
go.
me know if you can see the cash to key screen.
It's coming
Oh,
on. It's coming. There we go.
all right. And you can see that now?
Yes.
All right. So when we first started this program, we have buy now, sell later, we have cash offer. And then for people that you know that are well off, they're either downsizing or they're not going to need a mortgage when they're done. We also now have the cash bridge. So we'll get into that as we go through. But I want you to look at this as another way for you to make a client more competitive when they make an offer. So today, our certification agenda will be understand the structure of the transactions, the financials, and how this can help you to be more successful and drive marketing with some of our tools. All right. So let's jump into cash offer.
And Tom,
So
before we
cash,
get started, can I just say one thing? I wanted to kind of open people's eyes to where this could work, or a real life situation that I'm in,
sure.
is that I have a client who would be a seller selling their home, and they found their perfect house, the house that they really want to buy. It's in a new home community. It is like the second to the last of the builds, right? It's going to be one of the last floor plans in that community, and that's the one they want. It's the end. There's like nothing beside them, has a big yard. They have some pets, right? So they wanted a yard space, and they are scared to go on it because they haven't sold their house yet, and their house is also needed. The sale of their house is needed to pay some for the other house, also pay off
Right.
some debt, right? So the
Yeah,
sale of their house is very important, but getting this new home is really important as well. So they're a little bit nervous to put their house on the market, or even to put the deposit on the new home, because they're like stuck in the middle. So they are like, when I saw this program, or when I talked to you, I'm like, oh, these loan programs, or the way this is structured, is it would help me to help them to go ahead and start moving, right? Moving forward.
absolutely.
This gives
And
them
and
some options. So I wanted to put that scenario out there so people could kind of understand, at least one person that this would work for. But there's many others. But this one particular couple that I'm working with, this is the key to me moving them forward, and also a key to a purchase and a sale. So I will have a buy client and a listing client. So that is two transactions, two commission checks. Okay, let's be clear. Let's be honest.
yeah, we are all doing this for profit, right? We're
Right,
not
right.
non for profit, right?
So I just wanted to say that in the beginning so people kind of know one type of client that is a target for for these products that you have for us.
Absolutely. I think that's a great real life scenario. And we'll come back to that in a minute. What I'd like to kind of start off with is the cash offer. And the cash offer is unique because you have to own a home. You can be a first time home buyer, right? Or you could have sold your home in the past 3 years. Somebody that is without real estate now can just make a cash offer because there's no other property to sell. So this cash offer backs your client's offer with cash. So we do a full approval first. So when a client comes to us, we do an evaluation, we do the application, and then we get them to send us all of their income and asset documents. And we do a fully underwritten approval so that they know exactly what they can afford. And we then give them a cash offer certificate. So, Nakia, what's the purchase price of this new construction home that your client was looking at?
I think it's about 452.
So we would give them a cash offer certificate for the builder to be non-contingent upon the sale of their home and non-contingent upon a mortgage. So we'll get into the timing of that in a little bit. But what we think it does is it helps your client if they can't close for some financial reason, we close with our own cash. Since we're talking about real world scenarios, have you ever had a couple that both of the husband and wife are both working and one of them loses a job while they're under contract? Well, in this case, we would cover them and buy the house for them, and they would once the wife got a job, we would then close for them. We give them up to 6 to 9 months to do that. So it really creates a safety net for your clients to understand that. So it also removes the mortgage contingency. So in your case with a new builder would be really helpful. And what I'm finding, and I'm going to ask this to the group, and if you want, you can make a little comment or speak out, but how many offers are you guys making on homes before you get one accepted?
Type in the chat, y'all, or somebody unmute. Anybody writing more than one offer? Your first offer didn't get accepted. About how many? Anybody competing? Go ahead, Yolanda.
I would say definitely about, sure. Sometimes it can be up to 5 offers. It really depends on the house. Of course, if it's an upbeat house, everybody wants it. And when you have a client who has to sell a home before they can purchase this home, it kind of pushes them to the backside. People want to deal with somebody who can buy now, not somebody who can, they have to wait till they get a contract on their house and then they can move forward. So it takes a couple of offers before one's
Well,
accepted.
Yolanda, thanks for chiming in. So what we're finding nationally is that it's about 4 to 5 offers before somebody gets an offer accepted. This is something that changes when we use cash to keys. We're finding on average that it's 1.5 offers to an accepted offer with using cash to keys because it puts you in a position to make a stronger offer. Um, so let's talk a little bit about the flow and the process. So I'm going to click down to the next screen here. So this is a test question, and we'll certainly come back to this, but I want you to remember this first. With every cash to keys client, the very first and most important step is the approval, right? So we do a fully underwritten approval, and then we have a cash to keys team of processors that will reach out to the client to do a welcome call. It helps them understand the contract that they sign with us. It helps them understand the timing of it and deposits, right? But what's important is that you know that you can now go out and make a cash offer on a home. So the borrower goes through this process. They make an offer, they get it accepted, we secure the home. Now, in most cases, and I'll just give you a kind of a sliver of what we've done since we started this program. We've closed over 1,400 cash to keys transactions and helped clients that couldn't win before to win with a purchase offer. So when they close, we do a standard mortgage for them, regular interest rate. Right now, we're in the mid sixes for a 30-year fixed rate loan, depending on credit. You might even be a little bit better. But that's something that it's a standard process from a mortgage standpoint. And what happens is now you have an offer accepted. Now we can confidently list the home, Nakia, right? Once they know where they're going to buy and where they're going to live. So let's go through and talk about the cash offer. When somebody makes a cash offer on a home, there's 2 deposits that we always require. We require a minimum of 1%. So let's just say it's a $500,000 home. They have to put at least 1% down on the earnest money deposit, so 5,000. And then they have to have a 2% deposit for the cash to keys part. Because if we have to buy the home for them, we then have transferred to them afterwards. And we'll go through all the numbers and the math of that. But essentially, we promote them doing a one-time close, which means they close on it when we purchase it together. Okay? We'll do this for FHA, we'll do this for VA, and we'll also do this for conventional. So doesn't matter what your client needs, we can do that. Okay? So now when they go to closing, if they do a regular mortgage, and Annie Mac doesn't have to buy it for them, then all of their deposit just gets applied towards down payment and closing costs. Okay, so if they're doing a 5% down loan, then that 3% that we've retained goes right towards that, and then they come up with the difference. Okay, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But let's talk about what we want to do and how we do it. So like we said, conventional and VA, we've now added FHA. So it still works for first-time home buyers. What we don't want to focus on is multi-unit though. This is for single-family homes and typically not rural properties. Like when you get over 10 acres, we don't want to do it. And if it's a truly rural proper, we don't want to do it because remember, we have to buy the home from them. So it has to be marketable. Okay. And the only credit score requirement is 640. So if someone has at least a 640 credit score, we can help them with this. But the other side of that is because I've been doing this so long, I can help clients identify how they can improve their credit if they get to that point. Okay. And yes, I think it's Yasina. I'll email to Nakia a copy of this presentation and she can then share it with all of you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. So let's ask a question. How real is a cash offer? So have you ever had a client that says, hey, mom and dad are going to give me the cash to buy a home? You go out, you look for a home, and then when it gets time to do the financing, they say, well, the financial advisor said that we really shouldn't be taking this money out of, so we're still going to do a regular mortgage. And I don't know if you've ever had that happen, but our offer is real. We have a $10 million line that's with Annie Mac Private Equity Cash to Keys that is available, and we show as proof to your clients, the sellers, that we have the capacity to do this. So I would say, listen, it's a real offer and it's important. So the cash offer works for FHA, VA, and conventional. It works for first-time homebuyers. It works for somebody that doesn't own any real estate. All right. And it just allows you to make a cash offer. So let's talk about the one that Nakia brought up with buying new construction. And this is called buy now, sell later. So you have a home to sell and you also have a home that you want to buy, but you don't have your home under contract. You don't have it sold yet. And quite frankly, you're a little nervous about listing it because what if you sell it and then you don't have somewhere to go? So this helps you to reverse that order to buy now and go under contract for the home you truly love. And as Nakia, I think you said it was their dream home, right? It was the perfect floor plan. It was the perfect lot. But the builder's like, hey, look, you have a home to sell. We don't want to go under contract and you not be able to sell your home. So that creates confusion and a little bit of frustration and maybe anxiety, right? So with buy now, sell later, we believe that we help them solve real world problems. Let's take that anxiety away. Let's remove the risk that you face by not having your home sold first. But it also gives you the confidence that Annie Mac's standing behind you. So let's go into what is the first thing that we talked about earlier? It's the approval, right? So when somebody does a pre-approval, a file may not be underwritten. Like, have you ever had a lender go through and give you a pre-approval and then things change or they can't do the deal they said they could? Now, sometimes it's because borrowers make a little bit less money than they thought. Sometimes it's because they don't have all the cash liquid or they're not getting a gift or they thought they might. So we underwrite the file the way it's going to close and we make sure everything's in place before we give you the cash offer. So it helps you create more listings. And I would say to you that if you can create the listings, if you can control the listings, you control the market. Most of the time people get a listing first and then they get the purchase to do the other home. This is a way for you to market listings so that you can start early with them and help them see the opportunities. So it creates listings by unlocking the market for your sellers. It helps buy now, sell later, BNSL, wins bids for clients that they would dramatically overpay for. And I think it's something that people don't always get the idea that I don't want to bid more for the house than it's worth. So, Nakia, you as the realtor have to establish, all right, well, this is what we're going to go in at. Or maybe this property is listed low, so that it creates a frenzy, but you have to have a scientific approach to that. But what we're finding is that you can maximize someone's sale price of a home if it's not all cluttered, if it's staged properly, if you have the ability to go in there and say, hey, look, we're going to move into this new home first, and then maybe you freshen it up. Maybe you put some carpets, maybe you paint the kitchen, maybe a couple little things, right? But that helps you to stage the home and sell the home and get a higher price for them. So that's another marketing tool for you as a realtor. And then the other thing, Nikki, you actually said this earlier. What if your dream home came on the market and you have a home to sell? This buy now, sell later allows you to move forward with buying a home as long as you qualify. And the idea is that we want to minimize any time overlap so that there's not extra cost or fees to your client. Okay. So this is something that helps you to move quickly, but it does take a little bit of time. So, Nakia, in order for us to approve a client for cash offer, if they have a home to sell, for your case with the new builder, we would do an application. We would do an evaluation of their current home, just an AVM or something to establish value, right? Then once we do that, we submit and we get a full approval. Once we have the approval, now they can make the offer with the builder, non-contingent. And I would ask all of you, do you think your offer is stronger if you're non-contingent upon the sale of real estate?
Yeah, and even some
Yeah.
builders won't even take a contract with they won't even, you can't buy with a builder and have a contingency. So here in this new construction area, this is the perfect one to make that offer non-contingent.
Because it makes the builder or the seller or the listing group that has the responsibility of listing these units, it gives them more confidence in the buyers you're bringing to them. So this is something that every builder that I work with loves this because it takes away the thought that, hey, what if something goes south? We don't want to have to remarket this home. So I think that's absolutely strong. So with the buy now, sell later program, this is if they have a home to sell. So we still do the approval first. We still get the value of their home. We do all of that. We do the welcome call and you make an offer. And this is where there can be a cost to the client. So everybody says to me, oh my God, this is too good to be true. So if you line up the buy and sell on the same day, there's zero cost to your clients. There's no fee. There's no money that we retain. There's nothing. So the only way that we charge them is if we have to buy the home for them. So if you look in the scenario here on this slide, if Cash to Keys buys the home, the client would accrue rent. But I think it's important to note that until they sell their home, they owe us nothing. When they sell their home, they pay us the back rent for the time that they were in there. Okay. So it typically costs a client about 1% of the purchase price to use this program if we have to buy it for them. So in the case of the new build, let's just say that they move into the new home and we buy it for them. Then they list their home a month later and they sell it and they have 2 months. Well, they would pay us 2 months rent and whatever the transfer tax is to purchase the home for them. So in most cases, especially over the past 10 years, equity positions have gone up. There's more equity in America's homes because the values have gone up. So all we're doing is using a little piece of that equity so that they can do that. Has anybody ever helped somebody do a loan or a purchase with a bridge loan? So a bridge
Um,
loan helps someone to purchase a property and gives them the money out of the equity of their home. But if you're familiar with that, they have a mortgage on their current home, they have a mortgage for the new home that they buy, and then they have a bridge loan. So they'll be making three payments while that's going on. In our scenario, they only pay for the payments of their existing home. So it's only one cost. Then when they sell that, we'll take the rent out of the proceeds, and then we'll have the 1% cost. So let's just say that someone's buying a $500,000 new construction home. They bought their home 10 years ago for 300, and they have $150,000 in equity in their home, right? So now they use a little bit of that equity to help with this transaction. They only have one payment. When they sell their home, they then pay off the rent, and now they're in their new home, and it's been seamless. And Nakia, because they were out and you could stage their home, you probably listed it and sold it for more than they would have if they were in it,
Mhm.
right? And
And when
that's
we're saying rent, Tom, we're talking about rent is the new mortgage on the new home. So they don't start paying that. And you take that out of the proceeds of the sale, and they don't start paying for the new home until all of this.
after they sell their home. That's why it's buy now, sell later, right? So that process is something that gives them flexibility, and it really helps them to do this. So when they close on their old home and the new home, that happens, and that's the day the mortgage starts for them. So let's talk about the rent. The rent is going to be based on 80 basis points of the purchase price. So if it's a $500,000 home times 0.085, $4,000 a month in rent, but they're not paying that until after they're in the new home, right? And they've sold their other home. So only one payment, and that's important. People get scared. They're like, well, how am I going to afford all these payments? It's only one, and we only do it after you sell your home. Okay. So I think that's important too. So let's talk a little bit about buy now, sell later. The cash offer fee is 2.5%. And the reason for that is because if we have to cover rent, if we have to cover the transfer taxes, some of that money can come out of the money they already have in escrow, but it doesn't happen until after they close. So I think that's important to note. Okay. Um, let's just go down here. I want to show you there's a couple of different ways that will evaluate their home. So the first way is we do an AVM. Just online, they upload a couple of pictures from their home, or we can do a BPO. If you have an offer on their home, a written offer, or a recent appraisal, we can accept that. But we do everything online using the AVM, the automated valuation model. Just like you guys have your MLS system, right? And your varies by counties. We have this active right now in 32 states, with North Carolina being a state that we're doing quite a bit of these. So it's open to everywhere that you may have business. So my team and I are licensed everywhere across the US. So if you have someone that's relocating to Florida or South Carolina or Maryland, in your case, Nakia, wherever that might be, we can help you. So just know that this is available everywhere. I'll send you a map of the active states that you can do these in as well. All right. So what I'd like to do is talk about buy now, sell later versus cash to keys. And if it's a regular cash to keys purchase where there's no home to sell, there's only one contract, and that's written from the seller to the buyer. And then there's a special cash to keys addendum. That's a test question. You might want to jot that down. We'll go through this together. But the other thing is if it's buy now, sell later, there's two contracts. And the reason for that is that the first contract gets written from the seller to AnnieMac Private Equity Cash to Keys as the buyer. And the reason is we may have to buy the home if they don't sell their home first. And then there's a second contract under the same terms from AnnieMac Private Equity Cash to Keys to the new buyer. Okay. And that would be your client. So it all happens seamlessly if it closes one time at closing, or we give them 6 to 9 months to sell their home to be ready to be in position to purchase. But I would encourage you to try to line the dates up, because that way that's the least amount of expense for your client and it's the best benefit. We do this, and in 1,400 transactions, we've only had to buy 7 homes because clients understand the cost of it. And if we just do the mortgage for you, and if we buy and sell the same day, you sell your house in the morning at 8 a.m. and you close on the purchase of your new home at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, There's zero cost to you, but you had the reassurance that your offer was cash. We'll do the mortgage and we'll go through, we'll still do an appraisal. And that's one of the things. Do you guys write many offers with appraisal gap coverages, Nakia?
I don't. I refuse to.
Okay. So sometimes when there's competitive offers, right? Sometimes you'll use tools like an escalation clause. Sometimes, no, you're not using that at all.
No, we don't like those, Tom.
Why? Tell me why.
Because we want to know upfront what everything is. Like, we don't want the guessing game after. We don't want to go through you got to prove to me that you had an offer that was more than mine, so mine's became more. We don't want to do that. And some states, like Maryland, they use it more than North Carolina. North Carolina is frowned upon. So
Okay.
it's not
Interesting.
illegal or not banned, but it is not,
Discouraged.
yeah, it's discouraged. And I can't say it for sure, but I want to say North Carolina advises against it. I'm sure by the time we finish this call, I'll find the email. But
Okay.
yeah, escalation clause, appraisal gaps, and and you said the same thing. I mean, you said those two back to back. One or the other, or even both. We got emails on, and it's a red flag when those two things come up.
Okay. And I understand that because I think what it can create is a sense of uncertainty, whether the seller side is being honest with you, right? So I get that. Um, know that our program does allow them, but if you're not encouraging them, so it says NCREC does not encourage escalation clauses. So that's the verbiage they use, right? It's not that it's illegal, but they don't encourage it because they want it to be both sides to be what a word I'll say is full transparency, right? So completely understand. So let's do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lead you through a test. So I'm going to ask everyone to, this will be open book. We'll do it together and we'll answer the questions together. But I want you to scan the QR code. And here's what it's going to do. It's going to take you to a link where you just fill in your name, your email, and your contact information so that we can provide a certificate for you that shows you're cash to key certified. Now, I'll tell you this. With the 1,400 transaction our company's done, we still get a lot of questions as we go through the process when you're finally doing one. So some of this is learn as you go from experience, but I'll tell you that our cash to keys coordinators, as we call them, are very good at helping you as the realtor make sure that you write the offers the right way and we take you through the process of doing it. One of the things that we will ask is that for you guys to be in position to share with us the property that you want to make an offer on to make sure the property itself meets the standards. We want it to be in at least average condition. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll go through these questions together with you. I'm going to ask that you do the questions with us, and I'm going to have one of you read each question out loud so that we can do that together. Has everyone been able to scan the QR code and are they in position to go?
And I also put the link in the chat if they can't. Like some people might be on their phone if they can't scan it. I put the link in the chat box. So you just need to click that link so that you can get your certificate when we finish. And are you wanting them to guess these answers in the chat box?
No, we're gonna do them together.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So Nakia, since you're there, you did this already and you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like you to read the first question out loud for us, please.
Okay. All right. Is that the lucky? I see lucky 13 questions away from mortgage contingency.
So just read the first one.
Oh, that is the question. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was looking for the question with the like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All right. Number one, Annie Mac Private Equity Cash to Keys backs the offer with cash using a special cash to keys addendum.
So that answer is yes. But let's talk about that for a second. The cash to keys cash offer uses a regular contract with a cash to keys addendum. If it's buy now, sell later, there's two contracts. Okay, so that's a good point to learn from. And the answer is yes. Okay. Yasina, would you mind reading the second question for us? You're on mute.
You might be driving. Are you driving, Yasina?
No, I'm here.
Oh,
The
okay.
second question, I'm in
Yes,
my
please.
office right now,
Good
is
morning.
Cash to Keys is available for VA conventional and first-time home buyers.
What do you think, Yasina?
I heard you say that it was available
Yeah,
for all three.
that is correct. The answer is yes.
And Tom, is this did Brittany says that the different questions on the phone. So this says the study guide, a certification study guide where we're on, but these aren't the
The order might be slightly different based on the link. So
oh,
that's why I'm having your team read them out and we'll answer them as we go. If there's
oh,
other questions that are there, so thank you, Brittany. We understand sometimes technology is fantastic, but if the links don't connect, I apologize. So Brittany, since you're engaging, why don't you read question 3 for us, please?
I sure will. So for cash offer, the contract is written to your buyer from the seller with addendum. So is this true or false? Are these true or
That's
false?
true because
Yeah,
it's cash offer. So
right.
yes, that's correct. But which one requires 2 contracts?
The opposite, the seller.
Yeah, the buy now, sell later.
Right. Okay.
All right,
Awesome.
perfect. All right. Keisha, are you with us? Could you read question number 4, please? Keisha, you're still on mute if you can hear us. Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah, I got. I was trying to get back to the question. Question 4. Once certified realtors can advertise through email, approved memes, approved banner ads, approved social media posts.
The
True.
answer to that is correct. So Keisha, we'll provide when part of the reason why we're capturing your information is so that I can create a special flyer for you guys to use for marketing with Cash to Keys. And we actually have a new flyer deck that I shared with Nakia that we can make up for all of you guys. So we encourage questions. We encourage it to be something that we help you grow. But in doing that, it allows us to engage and you get a feel for how I operate. So I've said to Nakia, what I'd like to do is at least initially, and I have a team that's behind me, at least initially, I'd like to be your point contact person for all of your real estate needs, questions, and information when it comes to lending. Okay. So I have a team that'll be working with us. I recently just brought my son in as well. And so it's nice to have part of the family together. So the answer to that one was yes. We'll help you with social media. We'll help you with some marketing tools. And I think you'll see a boost in your production in the next quarter after this because you have another tool that nobody else in your region has. And I would say, I would encourage you to use that as a way to gain momentum. We're entering into the springtime market. We know that people want to get outside and we know that this is something that can drive business. So we'll talk more offline about that. Crystal, are you with us? Do you want to try and read number 5?
I can.
Thank
Um,
you.
the first step always starts with any MAC pre-approval. And according to my notes, I have first step is approval. I'm going to
That is
take through.
correct. Yep. So let's just talk about that word for a second. An approval versus a pre-approval. So a pre-approval is typically we do an application with the client and we do their credit report and we just see that what they verbally give us supports what they want to do. But a fully underwritten approval goes through underwriting. We do the background search, we do the fraud, we do their income and asset analysis. We make sure that they provide us those documents. So we like to think of that as a fully underwritten approval as opposed to just a pre-approval. But the answer to that is yes. Okay. Essence, if you're with us, could you read number 6, please? And I think you're still on mute.
Yeah, Tom, it takes us like a minute to find that mute button.
No, I understand.
You
And
said number 6?
yeah, it is.
Number 6, please, Essence.
Easier to get offer accepted without mortgage contingency. True.
I would agree with that. Absolutely. So think about this for a second. If you have an offer that you're writing and the seller says, well, we're going to put a contingency in here for March 16th. Well, we don't need that because we're already approved. There is no mortgage contingency. And there's also no home sale contingency, right? So that's a conversation that confuses the seller side. If they want to still put it in there, we can, but realize we already can give that to them day one. All we're doing is inserting the property and doing the appraisal to complete that approval, right? So excellent. So let's just go on. We'll do the next question. Let's see here, Yolanda Carter. If you wouldn't mind reading the next one, that would be great.
I'm on number 8, right?
Yes,
Okay. Use buy now, sell later to remove contingency on sale or closing of your seller's property. List within 14 days. Take 6 months to sell while living in either property. All of the above.
that's correct. So let's talk about this for a second. When we use the buy now, sell later, right? That's when somebody has a home to sell and wants to buy their next property. Normal scenario. But what we ask them is once they move into the new home, we ask that within 14 days they list their home. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to sell right away, and there might be still things that you're doing. So we'll have a little leeway with that. Like we had an attorney that used this process because their parents' home she moved into, but she was selling it, but she had to go through everything in the house. And it was 30 years worth of stuff. Parents died suddenly. So it took her about a month to go through everything in the house before it was even ready to list. We communicate with you and we give you that extra time, but it's really just another tool and a way that's part of the initial guidelines. Um, let's see here. Tawanda Richardson, if you wouldn't mind reading question number 9 for us, that'd be great.
If someone can read the question, because I'm driving, I can try to answer. 'Cause I'm
Oh, okay. You know
listening.
what, Tawanda, you just keep driving. Don't worry about it. How about we go down to Audra Watkins?
Audra May can't answer. Let me read it. Which number? We on number 9?
Number
Yeah,
9.
Audra
Okay.
doing two things. Annie Mac Cash the Keys will refund the cash offer fee when the buyer purchases directly from the seller, closes with Annie Mac Home Mortgage, and uses a preferred title partner.
That is true. So let's talk about that's one of the things that's important.
I'm going to say true.
That's correct, Tawanda. Good job. Thank you. So the Annie Mac created this program. So we went down to Washington, D.C., lobbied with FHA, VA, and conventional, Fannie and Freddie, to make sure that they understood it, to make sure that it matched their guidelines. One of the things that we have to do is when we do the title, we have to keep the title policy open from one transaction to the next so that you don't pay the title fees twice. In doing that, we need to have an approved title company that handles this. So what I would ask you, Nakia, is let's look at a title company that's in your area that you engage with, that we can get licensed and approved so that they can be part of our network. Okay. That'll be part 2. In the meantime, we'll use our approved title companies while we're doing that, and then we can teach them how they do that. But it's also another way to get deeper and get stickier with, your title companies and have them help you market and that stuff as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question right there? So we would just have our title company to contact you. Like if we had a favorite one, we have them to contact you. Because I have one in mind now that Audra works with or that we work with when I work with Audra on
Okay.
so we
Yeah.
should have her to contact you to get in that approved
Yeah, you would do a joint introduction via email, and then we would have a conversation with them and we would go through that process.
Okay. All right. We're
All
gonna
right,
talk to somebody
perfect.
for that.
All right, so let's see. It looks like, is it Geraldine Thomas? Are you able to read question number 10 for us?
Yes. It says never again get beat out by a cash offer with cash to keys.
So we would say, have you ever lost? All of those answers in that question are correct, Geraldine. So whether you have, whether you haven't, whether you say never again, this is something that makes your offer stronger. And we believe that it allows you to be respected in your community because you're bringing solid buyers with cash offers. So excellent. Number 11. Let's see, Melissa Randall, are you available?
Good morning. I'm driving.
Okay. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read the question for Melissa. So I would like to get more free certifications through AndyMac Works. That's what we're doing here today. So Nakia has already set up 3 other seminars that we're going to do so that we can help you guys have a little bit wider range. One is pet friendly, one is renovation, one is staging. So these are some of the things that we want to make you more well-rounded, or at least give you a tidbit of something to take away. And today's, takeaway should be cash offers win, right? Don't compete, win. And that's something that, it's frustrating for a realtor to take someone around and show them 10 or 15 homes, spend a month or so with them, and then they get frustrated because they don't win or they're not in the right price point or they can't find something they truly love. Well, then if you guys part ways, you didn't make any money with them. We want to try and help you make an offer and win. And that's something that can certainly help. Nikki, you want to read the next question?
I sure will. Well, number 11 was get more certifications through AndyMac. So that's the only one
That,
I'm looking for the next one. I
all
think
right.
that was it, wasn't it?
Was that all the questions that were
Was
on the?
on the test? So it wasn't lining up. So I think it was supposed to be 13 questions on our phones. Anybody have a question that we didn't answer that can read it and tell us what it is and we can help with it? Let's see.
I want to say it was a freebie,
Oh,
that last one. So
oh, okay. Yeah, the last one was a freebie. It kind of, yeah, you just say yes, and then that way it was over.
Now, did everybody get the congratulations? Did you get through? If you answer all the questions, it takes you right through. That way it triggers the ability for us to get the certification. Did everybody get to the end of that?
Okay, yep, Geraldine said,
Geraldine got
Yeah.
hers.
and
Crystal got
Last question
hers.
now.
and for anybody
You're on the last
driving,
question?
if you were driving and couldn't,
I got the 100%.
Way to go. Congratulations. So, hey, would you guys mind just for a moment, everybody going on camera so that Nakia and I are not the only 2 on camera? I like to do that only because I like to see the real faces. Your pictures look awesome. And I know some of you are driving, so I want you to focus on what you're doing, but I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Geraldine. I know sometimes we're not always ready for camera. Tawanda, good morning. Thank you so much for being on here with us. Crystal, thank you. I appreciate you being a part of that with us.
we
Looks like
have
Schwante.
some dual career agents, and some
Yes.
mommies that are taking kids to school. So I encourage attendance without cameras, Tom. So you can't going against
Oh,
me because then we
I'm
don't have
so
anybody to
sorry.
call.
You didn't tell me that, and I apologize. So anybody that doesn't feel comfortable being on camera, it's okay. I just love to be able, I feel like I gain energy, Nakia, from like the pictures are there, right? But they're still. I feel like I gain energy from the people that are a part of this with us. And I wanted just to, first of all, to say thank you for being on here with us. And it's something that you will have questions. I'm going to provide all of my contact information so with Nakia, so that if you have any questions, if you want to talk about a borrower scenario, if you want to go through any of that together, I can certainly work through that with you. We're going to provide
Wanda has a question for you, Tom. Uh-oh. Did I freeze or did Tom freeze?
you'll provide an email with all of our contact information. And then if you send me your profile snapshot and your email, phone number, and website, or whatever you want on your contact information, we'll make up a flyer for you. And then we can use that and grow from and show you some of the other things we're doing. And Nakia will also send out the deck that we have, so that not only this one here, but also a power slide that you can use for your borrowers to give them a little bit of insight about how the Cash to Keys works. So does anybody have any questions for me this morning?
Tawanda?
Yeah, I think you were about to speak on for the folks that's driving in regards to how we actually access the test and complete the test. I think that's what you was about to do, Miss Nakia.
Yeah, so Tawanda, I put it in the group me chat and I also put it in our Facebook group. So if you're driving and couldn't take the quiz, the links are there. So once you take it later, you'll also get the certificate as well.
And I'm going to give everybody now, I'm going to put it in the chat just so that you have it. My name and my cell number, 856-904-0151. And then I'll also put my email in here. tfox@annie-mac.com. Let me just make sure I did that correct. Yep. All right. So now you guys will have that. Okay. And then you're going to forward it out as well, Nakia.
Yeah. And
so
Yolanda may have a question. I see her come off of mute.
Sure.
Oh, yes. I was just wondering, is your program for investors? Like, do you have something for investors, or is this just for?
We've now opened this up to investment properties as well. So
Okay.
yes, it can work for investors.
Awesome.
Yes. Do you work with a lot of investors, Yolanda?
I have one
Yes.
question. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you can go ahead. I was just, that was my only question. Was this available for investors?
Okay. And then I think, Yasina, you had a question?
It was a quick question. Do you guys work with I-10 buyers, W7 TPS buyers,
We
foreign
absolutely
nationals?
do. We do work with all of them. They may or may not be approved for this program. So it has to be a conventionally approved. So we have other types of outlets for clients that don't fit into the regular conforming FHA conventional VA box, right? So for example, I work with a lot of self-employed borrowers that file their taxes two ways. One way, they file their taxes so that they can reduce the amount of money that they have to pay in taxes. Those are the ones that struggle. And then you have the people that list their income and they file their taxes and they show everything because they want to buy a house. So if someone is in a position where they can't afford to buy, but their credit's good and they have cash, then we can do like a no ratio loan for them. That wouldn't fit into this program because it's a conventional program. A no ratio loan, for example, we just helped someone close on a loan. He's out on disability. His disability is less than his regular income, but he still wanted to buy a home for him and his family. So we did a no ratio. Once he's back to work in 6 months or so, we'll do a regular refinance for him. But in the meantime, people still have needs and things that go on that we want to try and help them accomplish. So it's very important to know that there's more than one way to skin a cat. And we certainly have the opportunity to help clients in many different ways. We have a whole division that's dedicated to, they used to call them subprime, they used to call them alt A, but now it's basically just borrowers that are a little bit outside of the box of a conventional format. So we can help them. The answer is yes, we have programs for that, Yasina.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Anybody else? More questions? This was really good information. Thank you, Mika. She says great information as well, and thank her for attending.
Thank you.
Really good information, especially with the investors too, because that's another one that I didn't even think about. May need this program, but this is really, really exciting for me because my buyers with an S has been lately has been women or even families, women that contact me, but for their family that want to sell their homes and buy something new. And it's been mostly at new construction where they don't allow that contingency. So once you give your deposit, it's over because you don't have a contingency. So if we don't get that house sold for any reason, I mean, they could have the most saleable house ever, but sometimes it just depends on what's going on.
Right.
And a lot of people also they're comfortable at that home. They're only comfortable with that one payment and can't make two payments. So they have a home to sell. They are
Right.
approved for a new home and pay two mortgages, but this works for them to say, hey, let me pay that second mortgage or let me pay that when I get the proceeds from selling this current home. This was
Exactly.
exciting for me because I had two ways or two things to offer, two programs basically to offer these buyers. And they're getting approved for a normal, regular, what we call conforming, I guess, standard
Yep.
loan, right?
Exactly.
However, it's almost like buying an insurance policy with it. It's almost like taking a cruise, but I get that travel insurance just in case. So
Right.
it's like almost getting an insurance policy. Now that I'm hearing it again, it's like having an insurance policy. I'm gonna buy this house no matter what. If I'm gonna use Tom's cash or if I'm going to use Tom's FHA loan, one or the
Right.
other, I'm getting this house. Or I'm
Exactly.
gonna get this house, stay in my current house, pay only this current mortgage, get my new house, start moving stuff or move all of it over there so I can declutter this one. I mean, it's like so much, my head is just spinning. Like I want to just tell the world that this is it. That yes, I need to get this. I need to get the word out about this and I need to tell my clients and even introduce, if I can't explain it, I need to introduce or get on a three-way Zoom, a conference call with Tom and the client so he could explain
Exactly.
better. But Mika, she just put a question in the chat. There is a shorter explanation, that slide deck that Tom was talking
Yes.
about. He has
Hmm.
given us that. I think we should also probably do like a short explanation YouTube video or even you. This is marketing now. I'm talking to the agents. This is marketing. So when you get that slide deck that we're going to email you, sit and go through it. Make a YouTube video. If you need help, put it in ChatGPT. Tell ChatGPT to write a script for you to make this a video. A short explanation video on your own YouTube channels or even on TikTok, a series on TikTok or Reels, however you guys are doing it. This is a good marketing tool, or this will be a good marketing tool for us also to create it. Create the explanation videos, create the short explanations because a lot of people need this. A lot of people are looking for this. More people than you know. They just don't know that this exists. So until we
That's right.
tell them that this
So
is,
go tell it from the
yeah,
mountains.
yes. Like I'm thinking of every possible marketing plan I could think of. And thank you, Tom, for sending me the flyers with both of us on it. Thank you for that slide deck because you will see me with friends on Facebook. You will see me promoting this, talking about it because it fits the clients that have been coming to me and we've had a problem or what they thought was
Hmm.
a problem or we've had a stopping point. And this
Is a
contingency, this
solution.
was the contingency, this is the solution to
Yep.
their worries, So I need to get them on the phone with you, and we need to get them restarted so they can go ahead and move where they want to move. And guess what? They have to move during school break. So between that June through September, June through August, is their perfect moving time. So this is
Right.
time. So we
Yeah.
can really get on the ball and really get them moved this
So you
time.
get them pre-approved now. So just keep in mind, it takes about a week if somebody owns a home and they do everything right away. It takes about a week to get you your cash offer. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit faster, but we need to do the approval first.
Okay.
And that's important because we don't want somebody going out thinking they can make a cash offer before they get approved. And that kind of messes up the process because we need to really do a good job of setting expectations with our clients, right? Whether it's you as a realtor or me as a mortgage person. So we set that expectation, and that'll help us to do good work together.
Yeah, perfect. This is perfect timing. I'm thinking about sending her this video. So if she's watching this video, you hear me talking about you the whole time. But I've been, actively working on a solution, a plan in the background, because I really want to help her family. And this is it, especially that zero cost, because that was what they were worried about. I think the bridge loan offered by some other companies was problematic, or
Sure.
it was risky.
Hmm.
So this one kind of resolves that. Geraldine said, can this be for buyers who don't have anything to sell? Yes, that very
Yes.
the cash offer, so you don't have to have anything to sell. Geraldine works with VA, or VA was her strong suit. So
Okay.
Geraldine, VA, think about the VA buyers who are competing, and they have that stigmatism associated with selling to a VA borrower.
And guess
You
what,
might be able to
Nakia?
speak to it.
When they're approved, it's a cash offer approval, not a VA approval.
Mhm.
So it also helps to make that deal appear stronger. Just like it's not an FHA approval, it's a cash offer approval. Now
Mhm.
we may do we're going to do a VA appraisal, or we'll do an FHA appraisal because we're still going to appraise the property, but that removes the seller from thinking, oh, it's 0% down, it's, VA, there's no wiggle room in this deal, it's a cash offer. But remember, appraisal does matter with these deals. So although you guys aren't using appraisal gap coverage, if a property is listed at 500 and you agree to buy it at 500, but it only comes in at 490 for the appraisal, well, that gives you an opportunity to negotiate, but we have to go off of the lower of either the appraised value or the purchase price, right? So that is important, but it gives you another opportunity to negotiate with your sellers.
hmm Tom, we like to go back and negotiate. We just had this situation in our group. We go back and get that 10,000 off.
Good.
Nobody's paying that 10,000, Tom. We are going back to negotiate to get the price to what the appraised price is. That's what we do.
Well, I love that because in New Jersey, I can tell you that there is a lot of that, people paying the appraisal gap, because we just had one that went $200,000 over asking. And it's an area in Moorestown, which is a desirable area, but it was a house that's in one of the most desirable neighborhoods, and it was listed for 1.1 and it closed at 1.3. So I mean, but that's, every marketplace is a little different. And it sounds as if for you and your team, Nakia, you take a strong position and you're a strong buyer's advocate or seller's advocate, depending on where that comes in at. So I love to hear that. And I love the fact that, you've got a great group here. And I'd like to offer my availability to help all of you go to that next level. Let's close another deal this next quarter because we learned something and shared something here together. And I promise you, I'll go the extra mile for all of you.
And Tom, when is our next date? Because we have another date on the calendar. What do we have on there?
We have May 2nd.
Yes, May 2nd, and we are going to be covering our renovation 203K and home style mortgages. So those, people that are doing the 203K construction, all of those type of or if you need those type of products or need to learn, that is definitely a really good certification too. Tom, some of us have been with me for a while, but some of the agents are new. So we did these certifications a long time ago. I think Audra may be the only one that has been here long enough that we've taken a certification. But these
Okay,
certifications help us really be knowledgeable in the marketplace and really help certain people. So helping our buyers is what's important and being a resource for the buyers or being a resource for our audience online. So when we're
sure.
getting these certifications and we can walk out and hold our heads up high and say, hey, I am a renovation 203K and home style certified agent, okay? Or
That's
I'm a
right.
staging, I have a certification in staging, so I can help you sell your home for more money, less time. You know, when you can spit all of those out, or I have this cash to keys program, so you have no worries when you are selling and buying. When we can
Right.
use these certifications to our benefit through our marketing, through conversation with friends, family, or even when you'll be surprised who's watching you. Our friends, our family, even just people we went to high school with, see us online, see us get this certification. So when their friends say, hey, I need to buy a house, but I got to sell my house first. Wait, I saw Nakia just get this certification, and I think she probably knows how you can do this without stress. So
Right.
us getting these certifications puts some information into our brains, but it also helps us with marketing, helps us to build our business, and helps us to gain more clients. So we are really thankful that you take time out of your schedule to help all of us with no strings attached. Okay, let's be clear. There's no strings
Sure.
attached. You're helping us. You want to work with us, and we want to work with you because you are helping us to get our business booming, right? So we
Agreed.
thank you. We will definitely be reaching out to you. We will definitely be closing some loans with you because we can close more loans now with these programs. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, Nakia.
Oh,
Thank you to all of you
Keisha.
today. Yes, yes, go ahead.
Keisha reminded me that she has her certificate. She has pet friendly and staging. Also,
Excellent.
so she was here a long time ago with us as well. So, come back, Keisha. Tom has a different, Tom has a different presentation style. So you might want to hear something different or might want to get that certification again. So come back when we have these classes coming up, and you guys will see them in our Facebook group on our calendar and on Eventbrite. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's on Eventbrite to register, or you can go to movingwithnakia.com, and I always have all of our events listed, so you can always register from there as well. So thank you so much, Tom, and
All
thanks.
right. I love it. I say, yup, I'm coming back. You
Yeah,
always deliver. Thank you, Keisha.
yeah, yeah.
I want to leave you with one thought. Gratitude is something that I try to lead with. So I want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for the opportunity to share this message. And if there's anything that you guys have that's questions about anything lending wise that I may be able to help with, please give me a call. I'm always available.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks,
You're welcome.
everybody. Thanks for spending your morning with us. Come back. These 8 o'clock calls, we're trying to get them back up and running. So keep an eye on your calendar, and we will see you soon. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you again, Nakia.
Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you. Thank
welcome,
you. Thank
everybody.
you.